Okay, so Peter Thomas of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Just the other day, I said that Peter had turned himself in. I was wrong because I talked to Peter this past weekend because we planning something together, and I was like, "Damn, I thought you was going." He was like, "I ain't gone yet," and I guess Peter be trolling because y'all be trolling Peter, and Peter be trolling y'all. So Peter is still at home. Peter probably at One Society Bar over there on Singleton Road right now. Okay, so y'all go over there and support him. So here he is. Peter was at home. Okay, the other day, and he decided that he was gonna chime in on the Simon situation. And here is what he said.
I know you all hate when I fucking do this, but sometimes I just got to speak my mind. You know what I'm saying? I just came home and I saw Simon post, and that was riveting to say the least. It speaks volume. First time he's actually talking. Now, right after in real life, when we all saw um, Porsha file for divorce, uh, I talked to Simon immediately, and he told me that he was blindsided. So,
And remember, I told you everybody talked to Simon. I talked to Simon, Yanni talked to Simon, Nene talked to Simon, Peter talked to Simon. We all talked to Simon, and Simon didn't know what the hell was going on.
what, a year later, he's still saying the same thing. And I believe him. I also believe he was targeted. I do. I don't care what nobody says. I believe that shit. Okay. And I believe that it's somewhat his fault. And like he said, he was in not the right state of mind and he's guilty of committed. And he think that's something he wanted and he thought it was real and it wasn't.
Please don't put other YouTubers' names in my chat without permission. I appreciate it. Thank you. Now, Peter saying he believes Simon, and I believe Simon too. I already told y'all I believe Simon. I know a lot of y'all don't, but it is what it is. But Simon is talking too much. I wish Simon just be a little bit quiet right now. You done got out of deportation. Okay, you done got over to Dubai. You are doing the dang thing, but Simon, I feel it. He's heartbroken. He feels, listen, he like a bitter woman at this point. He's upset, and I guess he wants his story told just like Porsha is telling her story. Porsha got a whole team behind her. I guess Simon want a team behind him. At this point, it's tit for tat. And I listen, like I said, my name Wes. I ain't in the mess. I'm just here to tell y'all the tea, and it is what it is. But yeah, at this point, it's like they're gonna be battling forever. Now let's listen.
Okay. I'm sorry for him. I know what it's like. I was on that show. Simon didn't even make it to the show, to be honest with you. I was on that show for 8 seasons. And my divorce wasn't crazy and ridiculous as what's going on right here in this situation. Okay. I had a conversation with my ex-wife, and at the end of that conversation, I remember the date, May 8th.
Y'all talk about why didn't anybody talk to Porsha? Y'all said, why didn't Porsha talk to Fallon instead of going to Simon when he was getting divorced? Y'all let me know. I don't know. I mean, some people have an affinity for the truth, and some people know who's the good person and who's the evil one. I don't know what the answer is. All I know is there's more people in Atlanta on Simon's side than Porsha's side. Just FYI, this is Atlanta, and a lot of people in Atlanta know Simon.
2016. Uh, at the end of that conversation, what I said is that if we're not going to be together, I'm going to get in my car and drive to Charlotte, and I'm never coming back.
So you said everybody was saying he blindsided Cynthia. That didn't sound like he blindsided. He said he and Cynthia had a conversation. Simon can't say that. Porsha can't say that. Neither one of them can say they had a conversation and then Porsha filed for divorce. Porsha left, okay, while Simon was out of town and then filed for divorce. He didn't know nothing.
Uh, at the end of that conversation, what I said is that if we're not going to be together, I'm going to get in my car and drive to Charlotte, and I'm never coming back. After 4 hours of deliberation, as I put it, I didn't see nothing working out, so I got in my car, drove to Charlotte, and never went back. Okay, it was as simple as that. I even went on Wendy Williams show because the men don't have no voice on these platforms, so we'll get crucified. So I went on Wendy Williams show, and Wendy gave me the grace last show of her season for me to have a voice.
It's interesting. There's a man in the chat saying Atlanta loves to drag women. It be y'all gays that be loving to drag women. We be pro women. We be sisterhood. We be all girl code. But the girls who ain't on code get dragged. I don't know what y'all talking about.
And I let everybody know I didn't want none from this divorce. Okay. When Cynthia and I was together, I take 15 to 20%. She keep the rest. Okay. I give it back in taxes on a project that didn't work out for me. So we filed taxes together. She got it back. Okay. Some people don't know mathematics. I do.
Why he telling us all this, Peter? Peter, you know already told us on this. He came on my show and said all this about the stuff. Remember when Cynthia had filed a lawsuit, $100,000 lawsuit, but then she didn't tell y'all after it was paid, and then he had to come on here and I told y'all that it had been paid, but Cynthia was letting the rumor go on and on and on. But yeah, it is what it is. But I understand the ladies have a bigger platform than the men, and so I mean, the men be over here talking, and I ain't even mad at it. I'm gonna let whoever want to talk talk.
Okay, but anyway, I didn't want it to be messy. Brava didn't even know for like several months that I wasn't in this household. I live in Charlotte. I never went back. Okay, and I wish her the best. Okay, and everybody can see how that turned out. I'm good. I hope that she's great. I hope that she's doing well. I don't wish her bad at all.
We went from talking about Porsha and Simon to talk about Cynthia.
But these things could get really fucking messy. I'm so glad that, I have kids and grandkids. I don't want them to see that. I don't want them to witness that. I don't want them to 10 years, 15, 20 years from now looking at me in that manner. So I'm glad it worked out the way it did with me. I walked away with nothing. I didn't want to fight about money. I know how to make money. I don't have to fight about money. Okay. But this shit is ugly. And for this man to say he was targeted for like $5 million, wow. Wow.
Wow, Peter. Wow. Okay. So Peter, has chimed in. I know a bunch of people in his comment section didn't like what he had to say, honey. Hold on, let me go to his page first. And then I know he was on the blogs too. Excuse me. On his page, he said he was keeping it 100. Then somebody said, "You targeted Cynthia. You took her money for business adventures. It's ventures, not adventures. So who are you to speak on anyone's marriage?" People be so mad. Okay, listen, he didn't take her money. They was married, and Cynthia gave him the money. Okay, and then they gave it back, and then I don't know, child. Let me stay out of married folks' business. Then somebody else said you targeted Cynthia. Somebody said mind your business, Patricia. Somebody said you could never be Jamaican. You chat too much, and none you mind your business. They dragging Peter. Somebody said, "Oh my God, seems to me the player got played." Oh, I thought y'all was looking at it with me. "Oh my God, seems to me the player got captured by the game. Poor old Simon. Porsha staged a coup." Somebody said, "I totally agree. Simon was set up." Okay. Somebody else said, "I thought he got 18 months." Peter did get 18 months. He ain't in yet. Maybe he's streaming from jail. Who knows? Somebody said, when someone is being targeted, Peter, you've done it to Cynthia. Oh, they's dragging. Was he targeted by his other 4 to 5 ex-wives? At some point, he has to look in the mirror and stop playing victim. Mm-mm. Then he said, "You are a man, girl. You are a man, girl. Just like on the show, always in other people's business. I don't ever see these people on you." But like all the people who saying that Peter is in everybody's business is in his business. Y'all don't find that bizarre? All of y'all who can come in and say however y'all feel about all these people that y'all don't know from a can of paint, get mad at the people who know the people and have an opinion about it. Y'all don't think that's weird? I think that's weird. The internet is a crazy place. Okay, the internet is a crazy place. Somebody said, "Yes, Simon got, honey." Yes, it's Peter getting dragged. Yes, Peter is getting dragged. Said, wait, somebody else said he's always portraying himself as the victim. He was the victim with every wife he had. She was his come up. She saw what he did to Fallon and took notes. She would end up the joke of the day. I believe she truly loved him, but when he feels he needs more than one woman, let him have them. but it will cost him. Here's the thing: all the people keep coming up with these stories about Simon having all the women and all of this. Porsha could have put that in the divorce, that he was fornicating, that it was adultery in the marriage, but she didn't put that in the divorce, so there were no women at issue, which is the reason for her to get divorced. Like, she never said that was an issue in the marriage. So why y'all making up stuff? Okay, because we be reading the court documents over here. Okay, we be reading the court documents over here. Now, hold on. What you say? A YouTube update. What y'all talking about? Love don't cost a thing. Yes, sometimes it do, friend. You said Porsha did not love Simon. Well, I don't know if she did or she didn't, but all I know is he feels he was targeted. His friends feels he was targeted, and there's that.